Kurt Kissinger dismissed the aggravated menacing charge that was filed against Mixon.
The city prosecutor requesting it be dismissed, quote, in the interest of justice.
How did police get a warrant for Mixon's arrest if prosecutors say they don't have enough evidence to charge him?
It has been quite the offseason for the Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, there's been good things and there's been bad things about this offseason, but one particular story that we covered earlier in the offseason in regards to Joe Mixon seems to have been reopened. So we have a lot to discuss because we're not only going to be discussing Joe Mixon in this video, there's a little thing about Jamar Chase that I never made its own video on. So before we get to the content, there's a chance that this video might get demonetized because of the contents of this video. So if you could drop a like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications, that'd be greatly appreciated. And now that we get all of that out of the way, work! Some of the green slips you guys have been sending me is crazy. Like $1,250 off of a $250 slip, or $1,500 off of a $150 power play. We've been making bank off of our basketball picks, bro. March Madness was a huge success, and believe me, we're about to ramp it up for the NBA playoffs. All you have to do is download Prize Picks, use my promo code Mikerophone, and they'll match your first deposit up to $100 instantly. After that, just follow me on Instagram. I post all of my picks onto my Instagram story for free, and we can start making money off of these picks together. Mike check 1212. What's going on, everybody? The Cincinnati Bengals had a very, very unique offseason, and there's a lot up in the air in regards to the future of the Cincinnati Bengals. On one hand, you have two wide receivers on this team that are more than capable of being a wide receiver one on any other team. T. Higgins and Jamar Chase are both remarkably talented wide receivers. And you might be thinking, what's so bad about that? Well, both of these wide receivers are on rookie scale contracts. As a matter of fact, Joe Burrow is also on a rookie scale contract, and some very difficult decisions are about to come for this team that has made it to back-to-back AFC championships and has made it into the Super Bowl at least once over the past 2 years. The Cincinnati Bengals eventually need to pay Joe Burrow, and once they pay Joe Burrow, they're gonna have to decide what they do with their wide receiver core. It wouldn't necessarily be the greatest decision to pay both of these wide receivers a max contract. Now, I know what a lot of my fans are going to say here. The Los Angeles Chargers pay both Keenan Allen and Mike Williams a max contract. Well, Justin Herbert is currently on a rookie scale contract himself. Difficult decisions have to come once a quarterback gets paid that max money. Just ask the Kansas City Chiefs. They had to trade Tyreek Hill. They couldn't bring back Tyrann Mathieu. And most recently, they couldn't even re-sign Orlando Brown Jr., who recently jumped ship to the Cincinnati Bengals. A lot of difficult decisions are coming for this team, but let's put the salary cap stuff aside for a sec, because off of the football field, there's been some very interesting stuff going on. Some that I've made its own unique short on because, well, whenever there's content that I could fit within 1 minute in a YouTube short, I usually prefer to do that as opposed to giving you guys like a 15-minute long video on it. If you guys missed it a couple weeks ago, I made a video that was relatively interesting surrounding Jamar Chase. Now, this came right around the time that Joe Mixon's problems started to arise. The mother of Jamar Chase's child, Amber Nicole, posted a bunch of interesting photos onto Instagram threatening to expose Jamar Chase. Some that honestly make me feel extremely uncomfortable as a man. I mean, like, there's this one picture of the back of Jamar Chase's head with the text, "Now, Mr. Chase, you have some skeletons in your closet. I know the real you. Stop dodging the courts and responsibility. You know yourself. I have multiple videos that will end your career in one post. I'll have my attorney at the Bengals facility in 2.5 seconds. You know what's up." Now, this wasn't the only post. She also posted this onto her story. Should I go live later and share the horror stories and the receipts while dealing with my baby daddy? I've been trying to hold off sharing receipts for our court appearance, but I think I'll give y'all a rundown on why I'm always upset. She then decided to use grade A Photoshop to show explicit messages between her and Jamar Chase. My favorite part being I still won't like you. TF, you happy because you got some nut. Wow, that is like Sebastian Bach right over there. And then she even captured this saying he's so sassy with it, LMAO. There's one more, by the way. There's this message as well where she said, look at how he talks to me while I was pregnant. FYI, this is from a text app. We had each other blocked. My interpretation seems like Jamar Chase wants nothing to do with this woman that happens to be the mother of his child. We've talked about it on this channel many times. Whenever you're an athlete that's making millions of dollars, there's going to be a target on your back. Seems like Jamar Chase got himself into one of those situations. And at the time, I responded to this tweet saying, from my perspective, it seems like she's harassing him and he's trying to get her to leave him alone. Now, that's for those of you guys that missed that. Now, why am I bringing this up? Well, at the same time, another member of the Cincinnati Bengals offense also was dealing with his own issues. A member that actually historically dealt with issues like this before. Joe Mixon, about a little bit over a month ago, got into some trouble reportedly for, and this is a term that this is relatively new to me. I've never heard of this before. He had a warrant out for his arrest on account of aggravated menacing. So if you guys didn't know, Joe Mixon does have a history of getting into miscues with his significant other because, and I don't necessarily know if I can show this, before he even got to college, there was this video of him punching the living daylights out of a woman on surveillance footage. It's very graphic, and I honestly don't want to keep watching it. Now, going back to the present, what Joe Mixon was accused of was pointing a gun at a woman in downtown Cincinnati. And then Mixon allegedly said, you should be popped in the face. I should shoot you now. The police can't get me. Now, as a result, a warrant was issued for Joe Mixon's arrest. As you can see here, an arrest warrant and everything, all official from the sheriff of Hamilton County and the chief bailiff of Hamilton County Municipal Court. At the time, the Bengals said that the club is aware of misdemeanor charges that have been raised against Joe Mixon. The club is investigating the situation and will not comment further at this time. Now, the one thing we missed since then is the fact that very shortly after, Joe Mixon's agent did a remarkable job clearing everything up. As a matter of fact, the case would be dismissed just a day later. That's because the officials from the Cincinnati City Prosecutor's Office asked the judge to sign off on the case's dismissal early that Friday, and later on, Hamilton County Kurt Kissinger would say, I will sign the entry of dismissal and the warrant will be recalled subject to further filing by the city of Cincinnati. Prosecutors said in the courtroom that they were asking for dismissal because they needed additional investigation before they could move forward with the case. Now, this is rich. Look at what Mixon's rep, Peter Schaefer, said in the statement following the court filing. It was a rush to judgment. I really feel that the police have an obligation before they file charges because of the damage that can be done to a person's reputation to do their work. And that was it. We didn't really hear anything. This was actually a little bit over 2 months ago. As a matter of fact, I stand corrected. Until today, where we found out that the aggravated menacing case was refiled. This isn't coming to you from TMZ either. I'm bringing you this from the NFL's official website. Yes, the Cincinnati Police Department on Friday refiled an aggravated menacing charge against Cincinnati Bengals running back Joe Mixon, the department announced in a press release. The refiling of the charge, which was dismissed on February 3rd, stems from the discovery of new evidence during the investigation process, according to the CPD. It is a first-degree misdemeanor charge. To preserve a fair and impartial judicial process for all parties involved, no investigatory details or evidence will be disclosed outside of official court proceedings. The CPD statement read, in part, CPD is committed to a thorough, evidence-driven investigation of all reported offenses. Now, this isn't deja vu because this is what the Cincinnati Bengals would say about the situation. The club is aware of the misdemeanor charges that have been raised against Joe Mixon. The team will monitor the situation and refrain from further comment. This is really unfortunate, man, because Joe Mixon was really starting to hit his stride. I mean, in terms of life, I have not heard any type of domestic incident in regards to Joe Mixon since an incident that he had 9 years ago in July of 2014, right when he was about to start college. And that's not to say like what he did is okay at all whatsoever, because it's not, but I am a huge believer in allowing people to learn from their mistakes, especially if there is a specific reputation surrounding you. I think Joe Mixon was doing a great job of that until this situation came up. This happened around the time of the NFL playoffs, the day before the Cincinnati Bengals defeated the Buffalo Bills in the AFC divisional round. The worst part is Joe Mixon is currently under contract with the Cincinnati Bengals Bengals, but the Cincinnati Bengals could easily cut him and move on from him within the next 2 years. There wouldn't be a lot of dead money from it. I mean, they would have to probably take on something like $5.5 million in dead cap if they were to release Joe Mixon. So the reason why this is significant is if the Bengals think this situation is way too much for them to undertake, if they think it could damage their reputation a bit too much, then they'll clearly move on from Joe Mixon and have no problem doing so. So it's a very unfortunate situation for Joe Mixon getting recharged in this case, especially considering the fact that the Cincinnati Bengals made a hefty investment in their offensive line this past offseason, bringing in Orlando Brown Jr. But it's not like Joe Mixon has been that prolific of a running back. In 2022, he averaged 3.9 yards per carry. He averaged 441 yards from receiving. He averaged 814 total yards. You could clearly make an argument that maybe his best years were behind him. He's played in the NFL for 6 years, and he was a Pro Bowler during the 2021 NFL season. So this could potentially be the end of Joe Mixon. This one mistake could potentially cost him his career. We're going to keep an eye on this situation. I think a lot of it depends on the evidence that is brought out against him. So let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about all this, man. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike. I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.